In the heart of southern Turkey lies an ancient city with thousands of years of history, Tarsus, a city that has witnessed empires rise and fall, trade routes flourish, and civilizations disappear into time. But beneath this layered history, something allegedly occurred in the early 1990s that turned a routine archaeological excavation into one of the most debated mystery stories in modern times. A story surrounded by silence, contradiction, and unanswered questions. This is the mystery of the Tarsus Excavation. Tarsus is not just an ordinary archaeological site. It is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, located in the Mersin province of modern-day Turkey. Its history stretches back thousands of years, connecting Hittite, Assyrian, Persian, Roman, Byzantine, and Ottoman civilizations. Because of this deep historical layering, archaeologists have always considered Tarsus a highly valuable excavation zone. Every excavation in this region has the potential to reveal another forgotten chapter of human history. But what was allegedly discovered in the 1990s would go far beyond expectations. According to various local accounts and circulated reports, an archaeological excavation began in a specific area of Tarsus in the early 1990s. At first, everything appeared completely normal. Workers uncovered pottery fragments, stone tools, and structural remains consistent with ancient settlements. Nothing unusual, nothing out of place. But as excavation continued deeper into the ground, things reportedly began to change. The soil layers became denser, more compact, as if the ground had not been disturbed for an extremely long time. And then, something unusual was discovered. A large stone structure buried far below the surface. Unlike surrounding ruins, this structure appeared deliberately sealed, almost as if it had been intentionally hidden. The excavation team reportedly noticed that this structure was not part of a natural formation. The stonework appeared carefully arranged, with precise alignment that suggested intentional construction rather than random collapse. What made it even more unusual was its depth. It was located far beneath typical archaeological layers, suggesting it belonged to a much older and possibly unknown period. As the team continued documenting the site, the structure revealed more complexity than expected. It was not just a ruin. It appeared to be a sealed chamber. Inside accounts that later spread through unofficial channels, it was suggested that the excavation team had uncovered a chamber-like structure made of precisely arranged stone blocks. What made this structure unusual was not only its depth, but its preservation. It appeared untouched for an unknown period of time. Some reports claim that entry required careful removal of tightly placed stone layers, as if whoever built it wanted it to remain undisturbed. The sealing method suggested intention, not collapse, and that detail alone raised questions among those aware of the excavation. As excavation progressed, workers allegedly documented signs that the chamber was not empty space. The interior layout suggested deliberate design. However, official confirmation of what was inside remains unclear, and most accounts come from secondary reports or later discussions rather than verified excavation publications. Still, the descriptions that circulated were enough to spark curiosity, because they suggested something unusual for the region's known historical timeline. At this stage, the excavation shifted from a routine archaeological dig into something that attracted attention. Local discussions began to grow. Was this simply an overlooked ancient burial structure? Or could it represent a lost layer of Anatolian history that had never been documented before? Some researchers suggested caution, pointing out that early reports are often distorted as they spread. Others believed the structure might indicate a more complex historical context than previously understood. But the lack of clear official information left everything open to interpretation. And this is where the mystery truly begins to deepen. Inside this sealed chamber, the mystery reportedly deepened even further. Various accounts that circulated later suggested the presence of unusual materials and objects inside the structure. Some descriptions mentioned artifacts that did not clearly match known classifications of ancient Anatolian civilizations. Others referred to unfamiliar metallic fragments and tools whose purpose could not be easily explained within the known historical context. However, it is important to emphasize that none of these claims have ever been officially verified through recognized archaeological publication. And this uncertainty remains one of the core reasons why the story continues to exist today. As word of the discovery spread, speculation began to grow rapidly. Some believed the chamber was simply an ancient burial site that had been misinterpreted or exaggerated over time. Others suggested it might represent a forgotten or undocumented cultural layer of Anatolian history. A few even speculated that the structure could challenge existing assumptions about the timeline of human settlement in the region. But without verified excavation reports, every theory remained unconfirmed. And then, according to circulating narratives, something changed. Shortly after the alleged discovery, access to the excavation site reportedly became restricted. Non-essential personnel were no longer allowed to approach the area freely. Field activity became less visible, and communication regarding the excavation reportedly decreased over time. Eventually, detailed public information about the site became extremely limited. Official records, if they exist, have never been widely released or confirmed. This sudden silence only intensified public curiosity. In the years that followed, multiple interpretations of the Tarsus excavation emerged. Some argue that the entire story may have originated from a normal archaeological dig that became distorted through repetition, rumor, and speculation. Others believe that something significant may have been uncovered, but never fully documented or made public. A more speculative interpretation suggests that the site could have contained findings that challenge established historical frameworks of the region. However, without peer-reviewed research or verified excavation data, these claims remain unproven. What makes the Tarsus excavation so compelling is not what is confirmed, but what is missing. There is no widely accepted academic publication describing extraordinary discoveries. There is no complete and transparent excavation report available to the public, and there is no official consensus explaining the more dramatic versions of the story. In the absence of verified information, speculation naturally grows. And over time, speculation often becomes more influential than fact. Today, the Tarsus excavation remains a subject of discussion among mystery enthusiasts, researchers, and online communities. Not because of confirmed discoveries, but because of unanswered questions. It sits in a space between history and speculation, between archaeology and mystery storytelling. A narrative shaped as much by silence as by evidence. Whether the Tarsus excavation represents a misunderstood archaeological site, a story expanded by rumor, or something still hidden beneath the ground. One truth remains constant. human history is far from fully uncovered, and many places on Earth still hold secrets waiting beneath layers of time. Tarsus may be one of them. If you enjoyed this documentary-style investigation, subscribe for more unsolved mysteries from Anatolia and beyond, because some stories are never truly finished.